My name is Natalia Olson-Urtecho, and this is Smart Entrepreneurship. Next steps in expanding your enterprise? This lesson is managing your products and services along the value chain. In this lesson, we will define a value chain. We will look at how to manage your products and services along the value chain. And we will look at how you can maximize your efforts to benefit your business and customers. You now have established your business, which has been difficult. Congratulations. We all know it's not easy being an entrepreneur. The next steps are going to define the success of your products and services as your business matures. In this lesson, we will touch on several aspects that will help your business grow and succeed. First, let's talk about what we mean when we say value chain and how it's different from the supply chain. The supply chain comprises the flow of all information, products, materials, and funds between the different stages of creating and selling a product. From creating a good or service to manufacturing to transporting it to the place of sale. The value chain are those interconnected activities specific to your industry that are designed to increase revenue and create a competitive advantage. Again, it starts with your inputs or raw materials, moving to production or manufacturing, through to outbound distribution, then onto marketing and selling, and finally to customer service. Along the way, you'll need to allow for activities like purchasing, research and development, employee management, and corporate infrastructure. Enhancing these activities in particular will increase value and your competitive advantage. The value chain gives a business the ability to create value exceeding the cost of providing its good or service to customers. Maximizing the activities allows a company to have a competitive advantage over others in its industry. One thing every entrepreneur should know is that value is ultimately determined at the point of the end user, your customer. The single thing necessary for a business to succeed is a paying customer. Whether you're manufacturing or providing a service, it begins with the processing of raw materials or research and ends when a finished product is in the hands of the end user, your customer. It is at this point that you have created value for your customers. Evaluating the process that allowed you to make that successful trip down the value chain is key. To be a successful entrepreneur, you'll need to replicate the process as quickly, as feasible, as cost-effectively as possible, and as tied to available resources, both natural and human, as exist. We can now look at the things you have done best to get your product into your customers' hands. Those things you did that added value for the customer and gave you that competitive advantage. A good place to start is with an examination of your business's core competencies, such as figuring out the costs of producing that product in order to price it correctly so that you can be profitable. Because if you're not making a profit, you're not in business. Now, as you determine how to most efficiently and effectively run your business operations along the value chain, you will be faced with several decisions. Outsourcing, for example, can result in the loss of quality control because you're not personally overseeing it. On the other hand, it could improve efficiencies for which your business does not have the capabilities at the moment. For example, if you're providing cultural tours to visitors, does it make sense for you to own a fleet of tour buses or enter into an agreement with an already established tour bus operator? Here too, you must think about your materials and labor. Can you produce, distribute, market, and sell your product with the resources available to you? An analysis of your core competencies will help you decide if you should operate it in-house or outsource it. Does it cost you more or less? Are your suppliers and distributors reliable? Please understand that if a component of your product is missing or poorly produced, you don't have a product. If a promised product is not delivered, you will not have repeat customers and they will go to your competitors. I have seen businesses do much to improve the efficiency of their supply chain in a way that service levels actually suffered. That is, they were not able to keep up with customer demand for their products or services. So the question is, what is the trade-off between being able to offer customers solutions that truly meet their unique needs versus doing it fast. I want to emphasize this important point. You have to be aware that product availability is a key aspect of the customer's perception of value, be it available at a store or delivering a service on time. Many customers want their purchases immediately. A product that requires specialized skills and more time to move along the value chain is not the same as a product that can be mass-produced and brought to market quickly. This leads to deciding which are the best customers for your product. Who are you going to focus your marketing efforts on? Which can be expensive? And which customers are willing to pay a premium? How will you price your product based on your target customers? I always recommend that you do focus group. Pick a few folks, not just your friends, but people from your target audience, and survey them so you can understand what their needs and demands are before you go all in and start producing. Remember, value is determined at the point of the end user. Businesses need to assess the economic potential within the needs and desires of people and understand where they fit in. In today's world, smart enterprises can no longer afford to limit the channels customers buy through. In some cases, people want high value, such as meeting face-to-face with a salesperson. But in other cases, they want the lowest cost through the fastest channel of distribution, which can be e-commerce. Is your product one that could sell well over the internet? Do your research. The transaction may occur online, but perhaps the general post services in your country might not be reliable to deliver the purchase in a timely manner. Therefore, the cost of distribution plays an important part because here you will need to identify if you have a central location with a large inventory or several smaller locations, be it for products or salespeople. The key factor is how quickly can it get to the customer. It's also extremely important to maintain constant communication with your customers. Don't make them work too hard to find out when you'll deliver their goods. You have to be transparent and provide detailed information on a regular basis. You should have constant communication via mail, email, text messaging, or even a simple phone call. And don't put the blame for delivery problems onto the courier or some other link in the chain. Customers will hold you, the retailer, responsible for any problems or delays. So be proactive in following up on problems. We live in an information technology-driven business environment, with the internet playing an ever-expanding role. Opportunities abound to restructure your value chain, to better serve your customers. Increasing your social media presence and analyzing usage patterns will provide you with more details about your customers' purchasing habits. Many tech-driven innovations help eliminate middlemen and their associated costs. These innovations can help drive customers to your business. And transferring from paper to software makes it easy to track and keep up with administrative and operational functions. And the list goes on and on. You will still need employees. If you don't have the human capital to grow your business, then it's going to be incredibly difficult to succeed. Investing in training and providing a safe and great place to work will help you retain the talent you need. Your teams are a reflection of your business philosophy and an extension of your business's image. You want that to be a positive one. While you're optimizing your business processes internally, be it how you will build, produce, and distribute your product along every step in the chain, there will be costs associated that will define your margins and therefore your profits. Too often, businesses spend most or all of what they make on operating expenses to grow the business. This should not be the case. How does the owner get paid if all the money is reinvested into the business? How do you save for taxes? How do you grow cash reserves? Too often, we hope there will be enough left over, but that is not good management. When I started my second company, I realized how important it was to get good advice from knowledgeable people like accountants and lawyers. This can sometimes be expensive, So I started using very simple accounting software and online legal advice. There are sometimes services from local economic development entities, small business development centers, schools, online webinars that provide more in-depth knowledge from which you can learn a lot. My mother always said, "Con una luz nadie se pierde," or with light, you won't get lost. It sounds better in Spanish. But with some good guidance and thoughtful advice, you will find the best way forward so your business grows and matures. After you have completed all of the lessons in this course, you can test your knowledge and earn a certificate.